We're going over two modules today, but one of the modules we've already spoken about, which is 16.2, and that's all about your exponential growth and exponential decay functions and equations. So just as a quick reminder, remember, if it's growth, our equation is y equals, or f of n equals a, which a, remember, stands for your initial amount, times 1, which if you remember from yesterday, that's our 100%, plus r, which stands for your growth rate, raised to the t, which t stands for time, and this would be for an exponential growth. And if you remember from yesterday, for decay, it's the same thing, except we are going to be subtracting by our growth, actually not our growth, our decay rate, and that's still going to be raised to the t power, which again, t stands for the amount of time that has gone by, and that would be your decay formula. So primarily we're going to be focusing not so much on 16.2 but 16.1, which is all about solving these exponential equations for a specific value. So let's go ahead and do that. Here we have 3 times 2, this is supposed to be raised to the x power, equals 96. This is an exponential equation, and we're wanting to solve it. We're wanting to figure out, well, what x value would give me an answer of 96? Okay, so how would we do that? There's various ways of doing that, including a way of doing this algebraically, which we'll discuss tomorrow. But for now, the easiest way of doing this is just recognizing, hey, this is an exponential function, which means it's y, it's in the format of y equals a times b raised to the x power. And if you remember, a stands for your initial starting value, or your starting point, and b is your multiplier, your constant ratio. Okay, so if we're wanting to figure out what x am I going to have 96 as an answer, one way of solving this is the way we've been doing it. The way we've been doing these type of problems in the past is just by creating a table of values. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to ignore the 96 for now, and I'm just going to write y equals 3 times 2 raised to the x power. And the reason why I'm ignoring the 96 just for a moment is because you're familiar with this. You know how to work with this. This means that, hey, if I'm putting a table together, that means that my starting value is going to be 3, right? And that's going to be my starting value or my y-intercept. So that means x is going to equal 0 at 3. Okay? And now we could just go ahead and use our multiplier to find more points and more points until we get to 96. Okay, so our multiplier is 2. That means we're multiplying 2 every time, right? So when x equals 1, our value would be 6, right? If we multiply by 2 again, do that in red. When x equals 2, our value would be 12. That's still not 96, so we multiply by 2 again. At 3, we'd be at 24. Multiply by 2 again. At 4, we'd be at 48. Multiply by 2 again. At 5, we would be at 96. So this is the easiest way to solve these type of problems, is just to create a table and realize what your starting point is, realize what your multiplier is, and then do what you've already been doing in the last couple chapters. So what's the x value? What's our answer? Well, the answer would be x equals 5. At x equals 5, our answer would be 96. So what's the easiest way to solve exponential equations using a table? You have these in your notes, and we're going to go over these. It's basically what we did in that last slide. So I wanted to make this video as short as possible. You could read them on your own, all these different steps, or if not, we'll discuss them in length tomorrow. Let's just do another example then. So here we have 2/5 times 5 raised to the x power. It's supposed to be raised to the x power. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's raised to the x power, not times x, equals 250. So again, remember our exponential formula is y equals a times b raised to the x power, where a is our starting point, right? So our starting point here is going to be 2/5, and at 2/5 our x value would be 0. Okay, and in the past we put it in the middle, but here it doesn't make much sense to put it in the middle because we want it to grow to 250. Okay, so there's obviously going to be an exponential growth because the multiplier is greater than 1, and we're multiplying by 5 each time. Okay, so let's go ahead and multiply 2/5 times 5 until we get 250. Okay, so if we multiply 2/5 times 5, our first term would be 2. Okay, so that's still not 250, so we'd have to keep going. We multiply 2 by 5, our second term would be 10. Okay, we multiply 10 by 5, our third term would be 50. We multiply 50 times 5, and there we have it. Our fourth term would be 250. So what's the x value that would satisfy this equation? What x would give us the answer 250? It would be x equals 4. And there's also a way of doing this with a graphing calculator, which I'm going to show you tomorrow. The steps to that is already in your notes, so if you have a graphing calculator at home and you want to try to do it on a graphing calculator, just read those steps that I wrote down for you on your notes and try to figure it out. There's one more example I want to do with you before the end of this video, and this kind of ties in with what we were doing yesterday. So it says there are 225 wolves in a state park. The population is increasing. That's going to mean that we have an exponential growth at the rate of 15% per year. So remember, if it's increasing, we're going to use the formula y equals a, which stands for your initial amount, times 1 plus your rate, your growth rate, raised to the t power, which stands for time. Okay, so what is a in this case? A is 225. Okay, what is r? What's our growth rate? It's 15%, which would be 0.15. And our time, we don't know the time. So that's the only difference from what we did yesterday. This time we're trying to figure out our time, but we know that we want y, we want our population to equal 500. Okay, so how would we solve this type of problem? Same way we did it before. So first, let's plug everything in that we know. We know y is 500. We know a is 225. R is 0.15 or 1500. So if we add that with 1, that would be 1.15, which that's our multiplier raised to the t power. So this is like what we were doing before, mixed in with what we did yesterday. We're trying to figure out at what t value would my answer be 500. Okay, how would I do that? I'd create a table. And there's also a way of doing this with a graph, and we'll talk about that tomorrow with your graphing calculator, and we'll talk about that tomorrow, but let's go ahead and create a table. Okay, and you're going to get an exact answer tomorrow when we do this with our graphing calculator, but if we do this with our just by hand, so at 1, if we multiply 225 by our multiplier, which is 1.15, we get 258.75, right? We multiply it by 2, we get 297.5625. If we multiply it by 3, we get 342. I'm sorry, not if we multiply it by 3. If we go to our third term, we're multiplying by our multiplier, which is 1.15. If we multiply it again by 1.15, we get 342.19 something, okay? If we multiply it by 1.15 again, we get 393.52 something, okay? If we multiply it by 1.15 again, we get 452.55 something. Okay, and if we multiply it again, we'll get 520. If we multiply it again, we'll get 520 point something. Okay, so it's going to be between years 5 and 6, right? We're exactly between years 5 and 6, probably around 5.7 or so, but we're going to figure that out precisely tomorrow using our graphing calculators. But this is how you would solve or set up this type of problem. It's going to be a lot easier to do this with our graphing calculators, and we'll do that tomorrow. And that's it. Okay, that's it. That's it for today's lesson. We'll talk more about this tomorrow. Have a great day.